concept of tapas. And I've been touching a little bit on the 8 limbs of yoga. And the 8 limbs of yoga are kind of the foundational teachings of yoga. And I think I've mentioned before that of the 8 limbs, only one of them is asana or movement. The first are the yamas, which are principles of self-regulation. The next are the niyamas, and that's kind of what I'm reading about myself these days. And the niyamas are ways to reprogram our minds, right? So we're born with this certain predisposition, or I don't know if we're born with it or we acquire it pretty quickly. Our thought patterns become like ruts, right? And we always think the same way. And, if we're self-critical about the same things. So we try through a host of different ways. We try through movement, we try through meditation to kind of speak to ourselves as we would speak to our best friends. So when you kind of start to deprogram that critical thinking, when you don't attach to it, when you're not judging yourself, then you're allowing yourself to reprogram. And one of the niyamas is something called tapas. And tapas, if you've ever been to a tapas restaurant, they're like small plates of Spanish food, but that's not what these tapas are. Tapas means learning to keep the mind focused for the sake of your practice and spiritual evolution. So tapas is kind of firing yourself up so you can be disciplined. So if you think about times that you needed to be disciplined, like, oh, I'm going to stick to my yoga practice, maybe you energize yourself by buying a new yoga mat. Or if you're like, oh, I'm going to start running, you buy a new pair of running shoes, right? You need to do something to fire yourself up so that you have the discipline to carry through. So tapas is a way of firing ourselves up so that we can be disciplined enough to stay with our practice. So I'm going to ask you to lie down, because after you lie down, just to tell you what's coming, we're probably going to move a little quickly to kind of fire ourselves up. So we'll begin at first lying on our backs. You can rest your hands on your belly. And with your hands resting on your belly, start to notice the rise and fall of your abdomen as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And then concentrate just a little bit more on your exhale. Notice yourself pulling that belly button in as you exhale so that you can push more breath out. So nice, big, full, deep, natural breath in. Then a little bit more of an exaggerated exhale. And that's going to start you to engage your abdominal muscles, engage in a little core breathing. So you're going to take that big, full, natural, deep breath in, and then exhale, almost exaggerating that sense of pushing the air out of your body. And as you do a few more rounds of this on your own, maybe you just let yourself think for a moment or two about areas of your life that you need to become a little bit more disciplined. Where do you need to put your enthusiasm so that your discipline comes naturally? And then bring your right knee in toward your chest, bring your left knee in toward your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs, and I want you to really squish your legs into your belly. So much that you feel like, holy cow, I almost can't breathe. And then I'm going to ask you to take a breath in and hold it as you squish even more. And then as you exhale, open your arms out to the side and bring your legs up into the air. Point your toes to your face. Get out your Gorilla Glue or your cement or whatever you need to glue those legs together, and let both of your legs drop halfway down to the right. Inhale back to center. And as you exhale, those legs come halfway down to the left. Inhale, center. Again, exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. As you exhale, bend your knees. Your feet are pointing toward your face. You can put your hands behind your thighs if you'd like to, and you're going to gently press that right heel out, and then bring that right knee back in. And then you press through that left heel and bring your left knee back in. And then again, right leg stretches out, right knee comes back in, left leg stretches out, left knee comes back in, and then both of those legs stretch out. Bring both of those knees back in. And one more time, both of those legs stretch out. Both of those knees come in. And then place your hands on your kneecaps and make some big circles going all the way around with your knees. And reverse it, go around the other way. And then open your arms out to the side. Let both of your knees fall down to the right. Let your head turn to the left. Once again, thighs stay glued together. Inhale those knees back together. And as you exhale, those knees come down to the left. Your head turns to the right. Inhale back to center. As you exhale, place your feet on the floor. And then you're going to bring your hands next to you with your palms facing down. Press your feet into the mat. Lift your hips, your lower back, your middle back, and your upper back. Shift your weight into your left leg. Right leg comes up into the air. Hold it up in the air, and then tap your butt to the mat and lift it back up. And tap and lift. Tap and lift. Stay here. You're really pressing into that left heel. That right leg's going to start to come almost the whole way down. And then you're slowly going to bring it back up. And then again, almost the whole way down. Slowly bring it back up. And one more time, almost the whole way down. Slowly bring it back up. Bend your right knee. And then let your foot come to the floor. Let your hips come to the mat. Bring your knees toward your chest for a moment. Let both of them fall down to the right. And put your right hand on your left knee or thigh and just draw it a little closer to you. So you're stretching out that left glute that we were just firing up. Release your hand. Bring your legs back to center. Feet to the floor. Lift your hips again. And then right away, shift your weight into your right leg. Left leg comes up into the air. And you're going to tap your butt and lift. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Slowly lower that left leg almost the whole way down. Slowly bring it back up. Slowly lower it down. Slowly bring it back up. And one more time. Slowly lower it down. Slowly bring it back up. Bend your knee, foot to the floor. Release your hips down. And this time, both of your knees fall down to the left. And you're going to hold on to your right knee or thigh, drawing it in a little bit closer to your chest, stretching out that right glute. And then bring your knees back to center. Place your feet on the floor. Float your arms up over your head. Stay here for a moment. Spread your fingers as wide as you can. We're going to try to use more muscle than momentum as we come to sit from this position. So take a big breath in And as you exhale, lift your head, lift your arms, lift your shoulders, lift your chest, bring yourself up. Good. Once you're up, hold on behind your thighs, lean back, lift your legs up. And just like we did when we're on the ground, but now we're in a half boat pose, stretch your right leg out, bring it back in. Left leg out, bring it back in. Both legs out, both legs in, and then release your hands. Right leg out, right knee in, left leg out, left knee in, both legs out, both knees in, feet to the floor. Good. Hold on to your knees. Pull your belly in, round your spine, tuck your chin. And then lift your chest, draw your shoulder blades together, look up. So this is a seated cat-cow. Again, inhale, pull your belly in, round your spine, tuck your chin. And as you exhale, lift your chest, shoulder blades come together, look up. And then come to a neutral spine. Cross your ankles, bring yourself onto your hands and knees. And once you're on your hands and knees, we'll do a regular cat-cow. Drop your belly, tailbone raises, look up. As you exhale, tuck and round. Drop your belly button, tailbone raises, look up. As you exhale, tuck and round. And then bring your hips to your heels, creep your fingers out a little bit. Make this an active child's pose if you can. So you're not resting your forearms on the ground, your hands are creeping out, your arms are lifted, you're stretching your tailbone toward your heels. Lift yourself to all fours. Curl your toes, hips rise, heels get heavy, heads relaxed, you're in down dog. Staying in your down dog for a moment or two, come up onto your tippy toes, pedal your feet out by bending your alternate knees, tapping your heels. And then come up nice and high on your tippy toes and rock yourself forward to plank. See if you can stay here for 3 breaths. Big inhale. Exhale, 1. Another big breath in. Exhale, 2. One more big inhale. And as you exhale, lift your hips, come back to down dog. Come up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees. Look to your hands. Walk or jump your feet to your hands. Slide your hands to your shins, look forward. Roll your shoulders back, tailbone back, chest forward. Big breath in. As you exhale, fold forward. Stay here thinking about how things feel in your hamstrings. And then you're going to bend your knees, drop your hips, arms rise, chair pose. Press into your heels, lift yourself up, open your arms nice and wide, fold forward. Step your right leg back, leave your right hand on the mat, sweep your left arm up into the air. So you're spiraling your rib cage. Release that left hand down, step your feet together, hips drop, arms lift, you're back in your chair pose. Press into your heels, lift up, open your arms nice and wide, fold forward. This time your left leg comes back. Your right arm floats up into the air. You turn and look to your right hand, spinal twist. Release your hand down. Step your feet together, hips stay low, arms raise, Uttanasana, chair pose. Pressing into your heels, lift yourself up, open wide, fold forward. This time your right leg comes back, your left leg meets it, you're in your plank again. Big breath in, exhale, chaturanga. Straighten your arms, plank, lift your hips, down dog. This is always a challenging little vinyasa. Really important to keep our upper body strength, so we're going to do it a couple more times. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, plank. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Straighten your arms, hips rise, down dog. And again, inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, plank. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Straighten your arms, hips rise, down dog, and then come down onto your knees. Sink your hips to your heels. This time, bring your arms behind you. Your palms are up, your shoulders relax. And stay here for a couple of breaths. Slide your arms back out in front of you. Lift yourself back to all fours. Curl your toes, hips rise once again. Come up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees, let them hover about an inch or two above the mat. And then straighten your knees, drop your heels. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, bend those knees, let them drop. Inhale, hips rise, heels get heavy. And one more time. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, let them hover. Straighten your legs, drop your heels, let your head get heavy. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. And then lift your right leg nice and high in the air. Look to your hands. Step your right foot forward. Bring your hands onto your right thigh. Lift your body up nice and straight, so you're not leaning over. You're up nice and straight. That back heel is stretching back to keep you steady. Once you feel steady, hands come to your heart center. You can always hold on to a wall or a chair if that makes you feel steadier. Bend your left knee and lift. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Bend and lift. Bend and lift. Hold it here. Take your left elbow, bring it to the outside of your right thigh. Turn and look toward your right shoulder. Look forward. If you can, raise your arms, press into this right foot, step your feet together, open your arms nice and wide, fold forward. Bend your knees. Walk yourself or jump yourself to your plank pose. Big breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Straighten your arms, hips rise, down dog. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, plank. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Straighten your arms, hips come back up. One more time. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, plank. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Straighten your arms, hips come back up. And then that left leg comes up into the air. Look to your hands. Step your left foot forward. And then take your time as you transition. Bring your hands onto that thigh. Tuck your tailbone under. Chest stays lifted. Hands come to your heart center. Bend that right knee and lift. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Right elbow to the outside of that left thigh. Turn and look toward your left shoulder. Look forward, raise your arms up, press into that left foot, step your feet together, open your arms nice and wide, fold forward. So we're using a lot of large muscle groups in these moves. You might notice your heart rate speeding up a little bit. You're creating a little fire, a little energy. And once again, step your right foot back. Leave your right hand on the mat. Float your left arm up into the air. Release your left hand down. Step your left foot back. You're in plank pose. This time you're going to lower yourself all the way down onto the floor. Hands come right next to you. Big sip of air. Exhale, lift yourself to up dog. So your arms are straight, your hips are heavy, your gaze is at the ceiling. And then look down at the floor, bend your elbows, lower yourself down just an inch or two. Then a little bit further. Then a little bit further. Then a little bit further. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Curl your toes, big breath in. Exhale, lift yourself to down dog. Good. Right leg comes up nice and high. You're in a down dog split. Look to your hands. Step your right foot forward. Lift your left leg up into the air. You're in a standing split. Step your left foot to meet your right. Slide your hands to your shins, look forward. Roll your shoulders back. Tailbone back, chest forward. Big breath in. And as you exhale, you fold forward. Again, notice if each forward bend is feeling a little bit more accessible. Left leg steps back. Right arm floats up into the air, spinal twist. Release your hand down. Step your right leg back, plank pose. Slowly lower yourself all the way down. Flatten your feet. Big breath in. Exhale, up dog. We stay here. Our gaze is upward. And then look down at the mat. Bend your elbows, lower yourself a little bit. And then a little bit more. And then a little bit more. And then a little bit more. Stay here. See if you can lift your hands up off the mat, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Replace your hands onto the floor and push yourself back to a wide-legged child's pose. Knees are at the edges of your mat, making room for your belly, stretching your arms out in front of you. This time your forearms can come to the mat. You're in a resting child's pose. Lift yourself back up. Bring your knees together. You can sit on your heels if you want to. And we're going to take your hands and you're going to turn your palms toward you, placing your hands or your fingers are toward you. Your palms are on the floor. You're going to lean back a little bit. This is a nice wrist stretch that might feel a little weird. So just go with it. And then you're going to turn your hands toward you, but you're going to put the tops of your hands on the floor and you're going to lean back a little. And then lean back, start to circle your wrists around. And see if you can go around the other way. And then bring your arms straight out in front of you. Lift your right arm up into the air. Lift your left arm up into the air. Bring both of your arms back down. Good, so we're doing a little bit of shoulder work. Lift your right arm up into the air and then sweep your right arm down. Turn your palm out to the side, bring your arm out to the side, bring your arm back up. And again, palm down, sweep that arm down, turn it out to the side, stretch through your shoulder, lift your arm back up and release it out in front of you. Good. And then you're going to bring that left arm up into the air. Leading with your thumb, sweep it down, turn your palm up, sweep your arm out to the side, lift it back up, And then sweep that arm down. Turn your palm up, it goes out to the side. Lift your arm up. Leave your left arm there, bring your right arm up. We're going to try to do both arms at the same time. It's a little confusing, so don't think about it. Sweep your arms down, cross them over each other. Open your palms out to the side, lift your arms up. Try to switch the cross. So sweep your arms down, turn your palms out to the side, lift your arms up, and then relax your shoulders. Bring your hands to your side. Good. Roll one shoulder back, roll the other shoulder back, roll both shoulders back. So we're going to stay like this, but we're going to try to open up our heels and see if you can sit down between your heels. So this might be something where as soon as you try this, your knees are like, yikes, no way. If that's the case, sit on a block, sit on a pillow, or don't sit like this at all. If you feel okay through your quads and your knees, you can bring your hands behind you. If you still feel like this is okay, proceeding with caution, bring one elbow down, bring the other elbow down. And then maybe you come all the way down to the floor. Perhaps you even float your arms over your head. And then bring your hands back onto your ankles. Press your elbows into the mat. Lift yourself back up. Good. And sit down. Bring your legs in front of you and windshield wipe your legs back and forth. So you don't need to be moving quickly to be doing, like, feeling like you're doing some fiery work, right? Holding a pose like that is fiery. That's a very challenging pose. Come to a still point. Hold on behind your thighs. Lift your legs up. Open your knees. See if you can hold on to the outer edges of your feet. Chest is high. Belly's engaged to help you stay steady. And then one leg opens, the other leg opens. We try to stay here for 5 breaths. And then bring your knees together and feet come straight out again. And you're going to tap your toes and lift, tap and lift. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, hold it, hold it, hold it. Place your feet on the floor, slide your legs out, lift your arms up, relax your shoulders, glue your thighs together. Nice big breath in, and as you exhale, start to lean forward. So we're not rounding down, we're leaning forward, 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 and then you're going to hold on to your feet. Maybe you hold on to your ankles, maybe you hold on to your knees. But you're going to keep your gaze at your feet or beyond your feet. Take a big breath in, lift your chest up. And as you exhale, bend your elbows so your chest is coming closer to your toes. Slide your hands up your legs. Bend your left knee, your foot stays on the floor. Right leg comes up into the air, we hold on to it. Circle your ankle around in a circle. And then try to go around the other way. Come to a still point, lift your leg up even higher. So notice what's happening with your left leg. Is it starting to get all loosey-goosey, or is it staying so that that knee's pointing to the ceiling? This right leg stays nice and high. We're going to let go of one arm, let go of the other, lower yourself down just a little bit, and then lift yourself back up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. One more time. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Put your right foot on top of your left thigh. Hold on behind your left knee. Lift your leg up, and then carefully Lower yourself down to the floor, bringing that left knee in toward your chest. So don't be afraid to use a little of that arm strength, right? Think about all those chaturangas we did, even when we were in our up dog coming down to a bhujangasana, a cobra, we did that slowly. All of that's building upper arm strength. So now's the time to break it out. Use your upper arm strength to bring that left knee even closer to your chest. Open your arms out to the side. Let your right foot start to drop down onto the floor. You're coming into a little bit of a twist here. And then your left foot's going to collapse as well. And you can take your hand and put it on that right knee and maybe bring it a little bit closer in toward you so you're stretching your glute. And then see if you can switch and maybe guide that knee back away from you a little bit, getting into your hip flexor. Release your hand, trying to keep your legs in this position. Bring them back up to center. Good. And then both of your legs are going to come up into the air, toes to your face. Nice big breath in. As you exhale, lift your arms, lift your head, lift your shoulders, reach toward your toes. 3 breaths. And then lower your head, lower your shoulders. Bring your arms behind you. Bend your knees, place them on the mat. And then just like we did in the beginning, one more time, we're going to try to come to sit from this position using more muscle than momentum. So nice breath in. As you exhale, pull your belly button in, lift your head, lift your chest, everything comes up. Good. And now your right leg stays where it is. Your left leg comes up into the air and you circle your ankle around in a circle. And then you go around the other way. And then you try to lift your leg a little bit higher. Use that right leg to plant an anchor. Release one arm, release the other. Slowly lower yourself down and lift yourself up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. One more time. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And then that left foot comes onto your thigh. And you hold on to your knee, either under your knee or over your knee. Lift that right foot up. So it takes a little balance, right? We're not coming crashing to the floor. We're using some control. Slowly, slowly, slowly lower yourself down. And you use that arm strength to bring that right knee in toward your chest. And then let go. Bring your arms out to the side. Let that left foot lead the way. It's going to drop down onto the floor outside of your right hip. Your right foot's going to collapse as well. And you're going to stay here. And you can gently guide that left knee away from you a little, feeling yourself opening up through your hip socket. And then you can bring it in a little bit, feeling yourself stretching down toward your glute. And then release your hands. Keep your legs in this position if you can. It's challenging. Bring those legs back to center. And then uncross your feet. Bring them back up into the air. Just holding your legs in the air is a little bit of effort, right? So notice where you feel the work here. Do you notice it just in the stretch in your hamstrings, or have we done enough forward bending? Do you feel the effort in your thighs? Can you remind yourself, just like sometimes when we come to Viparita Karani, your legs up against the wall, having your legs in the air is really good for circulation. So we're going to try to keep this left leg as steady as possible as your right leg drops out to the side. Try to move it slowly with control. And then pause. Notice how you're stretching that right inner thigh. Your right outer thigh is using its strength to hold your leg steady, but this left leg is working to stay in control as well. Slowly bring that right leg back up, and then you're going to slowly drop that right leg down in front of you. You're going to let it hover a little bit. And then you're going to slowly bring that right leg back up. And now that right leg is the anchor that stays steady, and that left leg starts to come out to the side. Inner thigh stretch, strengthening for that abductor on the outside of your thigh. Inhale, that left leg comes back up. And then as you exhale, that left leg comes down in front of you. Slowly bring your leg back up. And now we're going to try to open both of your legs out to the side, slowly with control. And let them stay here. And then noticing the work of those inner thighs, slowly bring those legs back together. And then maybe you slide your hands under your butt because our legs are coming down. Slowly, slowly, slowly lower your legs all the way down in front of you. And then once your legs are down in front of you, remove your hands from under your back if that's where they were, and sweep your arms up over your head once again. And as your arms are sweeping up over your head, spread your fingers nice and wide. And then hold on to your left wrist with your right hand and really guide that left arm back, stretching through that whole left side of your body. Maybe you even walk your feet to the right side of your mat. And then walk your feet back to center. Take your left hand, hold on to your right wrist, draw that right arm back, and walk your feet to the left side of your mat. Walk your feet back to center. Release your arms to your side, and then bring both of your knees in toward your chest. And once again, circle your knees all the way around in a circle. And then go around in the opposite direction. Gently come to a still point. Gently push your knees away from you. And then bring them back in. This is called Apanasana. Gently push those knees away. And bring them back in. And one more time, push them away. Bring them back in. And then let your feet come down to the mat. Arms to your side. Stretch your right leg straight out in front of you. Stretch your left leg straight out in front of you. Turn your right palm upward. Turn your left palm upward. Relax your shoulders. And then begin to curl your fingers into a fist. Squeeze your fingers closed really tightly. And then begin to tighten your shoulders and your chest. See if you can add your belly. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your thighs. Curl your toes. Clench your eyes shut. Squeeze your jaw. take a big breath in and hold this breath. And then exhale, let everything go. See if you can pay a little extra attention to your exhale. So when we almost exaggerate our exhalation, we use those abdominal muscles. So we were firing up the belly a little today in our practice, right? We did a lot of core work. We also did a lot of work using some large muscle groups that raises your heart rate, creates a little heat, a little energy. So continue that in a more relaxed state by exaggerating the exhale. Tapas is the discipline required to focus the mind. It's the discipline we need for the sake of our practice and our spiritual evolution. Slowly begin to roll yourself onto whichever side of your body is more comfortable. And then begin to guide yourself back to a seated position, trying to keep your eyes closed if you can. And bring your hands together at your heart center. So just as at the start of every school year, when we want our children or ourselves to be disciplined in their studies, we have to start off really enthusiastic by getting all new books and a new backpack and everything's all organized and disciplined, right? So we use discipline, we use enthusiasm to kind of fuel our discipline. So enthusiasm or fire or heat or fuel is kind of the energy or the tapas that helps the discipline that we need to maintain a steady practice and to maintain our focus. So express gratitude towards yourselves for being disciplined enough to make the commitment and follow through with it by spending time on your mat this afternoon. And see if you can continue to take a little bit of this fire that we created today to fuel the discipline that might be needed in other areas of your life as well. If you would like to join me in sealing your practice with the sound of Om, we can chant one Om together. So if you're joining me, take a nice big full breath in. Namaste.